let's do cinematic then. All right, y'all. Welcome to the Lazy and Lock channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning subscriber, as usual, thank you for your subscription and welcome back to the channel. So I am using a new phone. I just got an iPhone 13 mini and it's a huge upgrade. Like if you follow me on IG, I was recording at least like my IG like shorts and stuff like that with an iPhone 6 Plus, an iPhone 8, and an 8 Plus. So I usually record my videos here on YouTube with a Sony camera, but the mini is just like, I'm in love with I'm in love with this phone. It's so small, it's so compact. I just love it. So I'm recording now. That's why I was like, let's go cinematic, because this is the first time I'm ever using this to record a video. So yeah, y'all, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about lock anxiety. And I'm going to be sharing my lock anxiety with you all in this video. Housekeeping stuff real quick. I do want to make mention that I know I have not probably be getting back to y'all's comments, and y'all been like really engaging here on the channel, and I'm super thankful. But I did abandon y'all a little bit because I had to go on IG and I had to kind of build up IG a little bit. So now that IG is kind of where I would like it to be, I'm coming back to show y'all love. So give me some time. I'm definitely going to go through the comments and reply back to each and every one of you. The only stipulation to that is I will never, ever, ever, for the life of this channel, reply back to any comment on the I Quit Interlocking video. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but that video is no debating. I have nothing to say to anybody. So whether you support what I do with my locks or you don't, if you do support it, much love to you. If you don't, that's your business. But I will never reply back to any comment, because that really is like an open space for y'all to just see what I do. And yeah, so you could just say what you want there, but I will never answer any comments on that particular video. But I will get back to you guys' comments, and just give me a few days as I sift back through the comments and pretty much get back to y'all. So let's talk about lock anxiety. And I wanted to talk about this because I've reached a new level with my lock journey. So back in June, made 7 years since I've been SISTERLOCKS turned MICROLOCS. And within those 7 years, I was trying to figure out what I wanted my lock journey to look like for me. So I knew that when I got locks, I wanted to have a very easygoing lock journey. I didn't want it to be convoluted. I didn't want to feel like I had to be attached to somebody to maintain my hair. I was already doing that with the weaves. I was already doing that with the cornrows and different styles. And I wanted to break free from that. So when I got SISTERLOCKS established, it was kind of like that, holding my hand and letting me know what the journey was like. I had an amazing consultant who established me. But after 2 years, I wanted to kind of break free from that. So now 7 years in, I've broken even more free from that. So at this part in my lock journey, I consider my locks, and I classify my locks as semi-freeform MICROLOCS. So what that means is I pay honestly no attention to my locks. When I get the feeling that it's being stretched a little bit too thin, then I will go in and do what I have to do, whether I, do spot touch-ups or whether I retwist, which I do now, or maybe I'll use the tool every now and again. But I consider my locks semi-freeformed MICROLOCS. So what does this have to do with lock anxiety? This actually came out of the I Quit Interlocking video. So even though I'm not responding to those comments, I see all the comments. And the main comments or the main consensus is, if you feel like having SISTERLOCKS and MICROLOCS is so challenging to you, why don't you combine your locks? If it's too much, instead of putting glue in your hair and instead of doing all this unnatural stuff, you know, having locks is supposed to be natural and there's nothing natural about what you're doing. Why don't you just combine your locks? You know, that's a valid question, because it's like, okay, if I do feel like it's too much and I feel like I have to resort to alternative methods in maintaining my locks, then why don't I combine them? And the simple answer is I don't want to. Like, if I wanted traditional size locks, if I wanted a bigger size lock, I would have got it from Jump Street. I wanted SISTERLOCKS. I got SISTERLOCKS. And to be honest, I didn't even know that I could have just did MICROLOCS. I was just so sold on the product of SISTERLOCKS that I decided to go that route. But trust and believe, if I would have bumped into somebody who would have just did MICROLOCS period, I would have went that route as well. Even though I love my consultant, she hooked me up. I don't think I could have went to anybody better than her as a SISTERLOCK consultant, but you know, I would have been cool with going to anybody, literally, to get MICROLOCS because that's what I wanted. So, you know, when people ask that, it's like, because that's what I wanted from the beginning. So it brings me, though, to lock anxiety, because I've taken over my lock journey as of I think it was year 2 or 3. That's when I kind of deviated from my consultant. We was, you know, far away from each other. I moved to a different state and I took over my own reties. And I think that's where the first part of lock anxiety came in, because I didn't know if I could even maintain my own locks. I didn't know if I could do it. I really didn't. And I had to kind of learn my hair. I had to learn my density. I had to learn how fast my hair grows. And I had to learn how to manage that. And it kind of just fell into my own hands, which left me with no choice. I did go to somebody else after my initial consultant who established me. It went horrible. And I mean, like, horrible. And from that experience, I said, there's no way that I'm going to anybody else and having anybody else manage my hair. And I do want to say that if you are a consultant or a loctician that's watching this right now, I respect what you all do for the SISTERLOCKS and MICROLOCKS community, because it is not easy at all to maintain MICROLOCKS and SISTERLOCKS. And especially when you have clients who come in and, you know, you want them to stay on a certain schedule, but life happens and they can't. And now you spend an extra time doing a retie, and y'all already know how it goes. So I don't want to come off as like I'm shunning or, you know, trying to down or bash the loctician or the SISTERLOCK consultant, because that's not even me. I feel like people should have the authority and the openness to do whatever they want with their lock journey. So I just do want to say that I give gratitude to the SISTERLOCK and loctician, the SISTERLOCK consultants and the locticians who maintain, you know, the ladies' hairs, because it's difficult. But as for me, it just wasn't my thing. And that brings me again back to lock anxiety, because I can't tell you all how many times I was going from point A to point B, and I've seen cards on my windshield, you know, I do locks. I had a girl kind of run me down maybe like 2 weeks ago. And she was like, oh my goodness, yeah, locks is so pretty. You know, I do locks. And, you know, I ask questions like, okay, well, you know, are you certified? Do you ask it? Like, it's kind of like, I don't care if they're certified or not. Like, to be honest, I'd rather go to someone for them to retie my hair that's not a professional. And the reason why is because at this point in my lock journey, I don't have the time to sit in a professional's chair and have them weed through each and every one of my locks and tell me what's going on with my locks. To me, at this point in time, it's really irrelevant because the way that I maintain my locks is I just fix what needs to be fixed when I feel like fixing it. So for example, I have a lock right here. It popped off. It got thin and it popped off. But I'm just going to glue it back on when it's time for me to retwist my whole hair. And it doesn't bother me. Like 2 seconds, it'll be reattached again. Another thing is like my hairline pops off constantly. Like I can't, if y'all follow me on IG, I made a short about it. And literally here would be like a patch of hair. And then I just attach it back on. And literally, I don't have nothing special that I do. I don't use no crazy method. Literally, I glue them back on. And that's how I maintain my locks. The back, let me show y'all how much new growth I have. This is my base, right? This is like my scalp. Look at this. This is how much new growth I have. That's about maybe 4 inches. I haven't retied or retwisted my hair. Sheesh. I was supposed to do it for my birthday. I only ended up doing like the first half of my head and never got back to the back. So I would say I got about between 3 to 6 inches of new growth in the back alone. Holes in locks. Over the 500 odd locks I have, I probably have about 50 of them that has holes. I'm talking about holes that's like 2 inches long. I don't know if I could show y'all, but I mean, my lock journey is my lock journey. That's kind of what I want to get to. Like, I don't want perfect locks. I don't need somebody sifting through my locks saying, oh, wow, yeah, look at this lock. See, this is why you need to retire more. Oh, this is why, you need to be on a reschedule. Look, this lock could pop off. And it's like, to me, it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't. When I got locks to be free from rules to my hair. Don't want rules, don't need rules. I do what I want with my locks. I love my lock journey. I love my locks. Even when they pop off, I just take them and put them aside, put them in my little lock bag, and I'll reconvene with them when it's time for me to maintenance my hair. So I say all of that to say the lock anxiety comes in because I don't want nobody touching my hair at this point. I don't need a perfect lock journey. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I do wish that I can just sit back in somebody's chair and just not worry about my hair. And in like 5 hours, it's just done. Well, not with this, because this is probably like a new establishment. So I'll probably be like 10 hours. If they was to really, like a consultant was really to go in and repair and do all of that, it'll probably take minimum of 10 hours for them to, from root to base or whatever, to actually interlock and do what they got to do. It'll take some time. But it would be nice to just sit back and just have somebody in my hair, and you fall asleep and you dozing off, and you watching the TV or you reading your book. But I don't know if I could find somebody that, because I just don't want to be told what my locks is doing. It's like, come in my hair, just make it make sense to the scalp, and that's it. And don't combine anything. And I think, I do have locks that are thin. And I feel like, if I was to go to a professional, they will want to combine my locks. They will probably even suggest me starting my lock journey over. And I just don't got time for that. So that's kind of like where my lock anxiety comes in. But I don't let it bother me. I love my lock journey. And I really just treat my hair. Well, I treat my locks like hair. You know what I mean? Even though when I didn't have locks, I was more responsible with my hair. But my lock journey literally is just, it really is just me. It's my blueprint, and I just really appreciate how I am with my locks because I don't obsess over my locks at all. When I tell y'all, low maintenance, like bare minimum, like manipulation. Yeah. So that's me and my lock journey and my lock anxiety. And also, like, share with me down in the comment section, do you have lock anxiety? If you are looking to get locks, do you think about like what that journey is going to look like for you, especially with SISTERLOCKS, because we got to think about cost. We got to think about maintenance costs. I mean, it's a beautiful hairstyle. It's a beautiful lock style. It's a beautiful lock style to incorporate in your lifestyle. But we got to be real. It's going to cost. And you got to think about all these other factors that comes to play when you do have SISTERLOCKS, MICROLOCS, and you actually don't want to touch your hair and you don't want to learn how to deal with your locks. So it's just a lot of things we have to think about. So you could comment down below and let me know your thoughts on your own lock journey or potential lock journey. And I'm interested in knowing what you think. You guys go ahead and do that. In the meantime, that is it for this video here. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you really like this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. And until the next video, be safe. Take care of yourselves. I'll see y'all in the next video.